slot, taking the pass in stride and tucking it home. The honorable mention All-Canadian getting one.
Again, Jones Smith pretty much able to get open by using his speed, cutting right down the middle. We're going to see here on the replay just a nice pass from his teammate. Catch him right in stride and able to get past the Queens goaltender.
Yeah, Ryan Miles doing a nice job of leading Jones Smith.
Yeah, and that play all started with Gamble running up the field, making a beautiful effort end to end. He recognized that there was a cross-field pass that he could make in transition, and boom, there you go, there's a goal.
And up for the face-off, we're going to have a violation by McCrory for Western.
Drop pass by the Gale is going to result in Western just quickly turning this ball right back over, though.
We've talked about how important possession is in this game, and that's a tough one to give it up on the bad pass. And there's a shot by long pole for Western. That was Jake Franz once again getting up into the offensive flow.
Nice save there coming from Porter, as McCrory had an open shot there, a little bouncer, but again, Porter got his stick on it and knocked that ball out of play.
Gamble gives it up to Neeb. He's going to take his time. They're going to get McCrory out. They slide O'Donnell up into the offensive set. Now Neeb starts to drive towards the net. Backs off and goes to O'Donnell. Behind the goal, comes around to Childerhose. Jesse Gamble coming over to give him a target. There's Nanos with the wrap check, but Childerhose gets by it and scores.
Absolute gorgeous work there by Childerhose, getting by his defender, doing a great job of getting stick on stick, but Childerhose protecting it and able to get right to the net. No slide coming in time from the Gales, and he's able to bury.
Yeah, Childerhose definitely knew the entire time, as you can see here. He's baiting for that wrap check. Just right about now, he feels it coming, pulls it across his face, and gets a shot off before the slide can come.
Yeah, beautiful job. You can see he knows exactly when it's coming. Just perfect awareness of that stick coming around behind him. And Western has the ball right back again. So just like that, they've grabbed the momentum once again, take a 10-7 lead.
Yeah, Patty McCrory just doing a fantastic job at the X tonight.
Western taking their time, setting things up. Once again, they'll run McCrory off.
Rebuilding.
Gamble gives it up.
Western seems to be rebuilding this lead they had early in the game.
Childerhose, the last goal scorer, has the ball. Watched by Nanos once again. That's a matchup that we're going to see a lot of tonight. Nanos gets the ball this time, a ward off. And Nanos will fling it up to Hutchison. He scoops it off the turf. Pass across to Halliburton. Alex Wright goes behind the net. Zoner with the pass out to Hutchison. Coming up to 8 minutes left here in the third quarter. Western has reestablished a 3-goal lead. Queens slowing things down, trying to create a good scoring opportunity to get some momentum back their way. There's the pass to Halliburton. One-hand shovel shot by Alex Wright. That one's going to go wide. It'll be scooped up by Zoner on the back line.
Not the first time tonight we've actually seen Wright go with that one-handed shot. He doesn't mind taking it if he gets that open opportunity to do so.
Really not much of a reason not to, since, if you've got somebody back in position behind the net, you're going to get the ball back anyway if it doesn't work out. Halliburton spins off. Being watched by Peter Hunt. Hunt staying with Halliburton as the ball moves over. Joshua Smith up high. Brent Robinson on him.
Smith, just you can see, he's just trying to see if he has an open opportunity, dropping the stick down, maybe get a low shot. But good defense there by the Mustangs, not giving that opportunity.
Queens gets possession after a bit of a collision amongst a bunch of guys, and Childerhose puts his palms up, doesn't understand the call. But Queens is already down well into the offensive zone with the ball behind the net. Zoner spinning to try and come back out. Jake Cran's on him. Zoner drops it momentarily, but picks it back up. Cran's sticking right with him. Some solid one-on-one defense there. Zoner's going to give it up to Smith and let him run with it for a bit. He'll get it over to Alex Wright, one of the captains for this team. Goes up to Halliburton. Bobbles it, gets it back. There's Hunt on him again. Shot into the stick of Grace. It bounces away from him, but he manages to pull it back in.
That's sort of a play we've seen from the Gales every once in a while, doing that sort of faking that they're going to go one way, spinning back the other way, and just getting that quick shot off, maybe to catch the goalie off guard.
Flag on the field, but it was inadvertent as the referee just picks it up, stuffs it back in his pocket. Roll pass out to the top to Jordy Jones-Smith, who will slow things down a little bit. Goes over to McCrory. Jones-Smith going for a run. Here comes Childerhose trying to roll up top on Stefanelli. Gets the shot and scores.
And Childerhose, nice switch hand there, and able to get that bounce shot that goes past Porter. And again, Western reestablishing this 4-goal lead that they had early in the game.
Yeah, that was a beauty by Childerhouse there. He's dodging real hard and just stops right on a dime and rips a right-handed shot, low bouncer, top cheese. Can't beat that one there.
The footwork there by Childerhose, fantastic. As he goes out, starts to look like he's going to dodge back towards the net, then goes hard up high. Takes actually 2 or 3 steps up high to really sell that move before he comes back down.
There's not too much more annoying as a defender when you're running with a guy and they just stop right on a dime and go the other way.
Here comes Patrick McCrory with the shot, and he scores. And Western is on a roll. The Gales, who worked so hard to get back into this one, in danger of falling out of it.
There McCrory winning the face-off for himself, just holding on to it. Took a couple of seconds sort of right around middle, just trying to find some open space before driving to the net and getting that nice rip to go in. We're going to see here, he got some open space getting away from those Queens defenders. No one near him, just waiting for the guy to step up before taking that shot.
And you can see a nice little hop on the back foot to get the weight transfer, so he gets everything into that shot and just buries it home and comes up with the ball once again. So we're going to have a possession foul. The Queens will head back the other way, and Jordan Nanos will happily take the ball and head up, see if there's another shot opportunity for him. No, actually they're going to move it up to the forwards and let them have the ball.
Queen's going to have to definitely start fighting back hard. Down 5 goals, their biggest deficit of the night. But they were able to pull back after a 4 goal, so we know this definitely can happen out of this team.
Hard to imagine coming back from 2 such deficits, but we'll see if Queens has it in them. Certainly know from last year and what we've seen already tonight, there's no give up in them. There's a shot by Hutchison that goes wide, but it doesn't get all the way to the back line as Zoner picks it up. He gives it to Wright. Smith heading out to give him an option to pass to.
Queen's going to have to fight to it on their own. They're not going to be able to rely on getting another 6-minute power play as they got last year at the end of the game. As well, that power play going against one of the top Western defenders, taking him out, that was a big loss for them.
There's a shot by Smith. Actually, it's a pass down to Wright. It was flattened by Robinson. Robinson's going to take a penalty for this one. He'll sprint off. Queens will have a golden opportunity to get at least one back here.
Down by 5 with 2.5 to go in this third quarter. Definitely got to put some momentum for themselves so they're getting nice and positive before the 4th.
Smith with a shot. That one doesn't get in. It's picked up by Matt Spanger. He's going to run back towards his own goal and then make a nice outlet pass to Peter Hunt. And they are up on the other end just like that. McCrory to the almost back, and that goes wide. It's going to be Queen's ball as Chris Porter raced out of his net right after the shot.
Great fast breaking there by the Western Mustangs, just able to get around the Queen Gales slides, moving too quickly for them to be able to catch up to them. Luckily for the Gales, though, Western shot sailing wide.
Yeah, Matt Spanger, he might have a pole in his hand, but he's not afraid to get in the offense.
Nice quick movement by the Gales, and they get one back. Alex Wright with the finish.
Right wide open on the doorstep over there. Basically one time that into the net, no one around him, and easy goal for the Gales. Something they definitely need. 12-8 now, a minute and a half to play in this quarter. We're going to get to see here just how open he was on that far side. No one around him, and he just buries that.
Well, that's just a beautiful pass by Brendan Zone over on the far side, catching the ball and releasing it all in one motion to get it over to right. That's what creates that opportunity for him. Queens comes up with the face-off. Jordan Nanos comes forward.
Looked like McCrory on that draw thought he had it. He jumped ahead a little further there, and Riccozzi just sat there and waited for him to leave and was able to pick that up.
Yeah, that was actually Ryan Nolan. He took the draw there. McCrory looked like he might have got a little breather there. There's a couple other guys who can take some draws for Western.
Ball bounces off of Grace. Queens gets it back with Smith behind the net. Little flip pass. Comes up to the top. Hard outside shot. That one's swallowed up by Grace. He's going for the long outlet pass. Not going to work out, though. McCrory's going to go hard after it. Looks like Nanos will be the guy to get to it before it gets out of bounds. Pressure from Jesse Gamble immediately. Nice little move by Nanos to get by two guys as Chilverhose came throwing the big hit, and Nanos hits the pass up. And it leads directly to a goal by Brendan Zoner. That is a huge play by Jordan Nanos, who may be the best player on the field for Queens right now.
Oh, I'd say so far tonight. That goal is definitely all attributed to him. You know, Zoner at this quarter time here is going to go over and give him a little love tap for that one, saying thank you for getting me so open.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. And look where he's going now. He's going on the wing, and he's probably going to pick up the ball and hopefully start another offensive opportunity for the Gales.
We'll get to see the replay here, actually, of him. That nice move to get around two Western defenders and just get right upfield and get that pass off.
Nice finish by Zoner. We talked earlier that he's primarily a setup guy, but he had 23 goals. He can shoot too.
So that's actually hard to tell because we don't know yet if it's going to be quarter time or timeout, as we got confused there at the half.
We're not making the same mistake in jumping early on this one. It will be quarter time as the officials going and gathering sticks to measure. We'll see if there are any more penalties. You don't see a lot of it. Malcolm, you were talking about how they've been doing it for a few years now where they measure the sticks at the quarter breaks and the half break. And you're saying in your practices, once a week, your coach is checking and measuring everyone's sticks to make sure they're legit.
Yeah, every Monday practice after the weekend, I know in the Bishop's team, the coaches have checked every player's stick to make sure they are legal. I believe this is the third year now that this rule has been in place where they do check the sticks at quarter times. I remember playing back in 2011, and they didn't check it, and we called a defenseman just for having his strings too long on his stick. Just seeing that out there on the field, resulting us in actually winning the semifinals and moving on to win the Baggataway Cup.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, you don't want to be that guy who, his stick is illegal. It's something so little that can change, that you can change, but it's such a big factor in a game. You hate to see a game to be decided like that, but in your case, I guess you didn't mind that.
That was the way the game, you got to play by the rules the way it goes. Back then, a lot of coaches would only call it for a goal. But now with this going in between every quarter, you barely see it at all because players just know there's a good chance they're going to get checked at some point throughout the season. So why risk it now? As we saw at the end of that halftime, Western got a 3-minute power play, and that's a lot of time to kill.
Patrick McCrory back out there against Riccozzi. Riccozzi for the draw. Sorry, Keaton Ward taking the draw. Scooped up by Jesse Gamble. Zoner. Smith almost knocked the ball away from Gamble from behind, but gets some help from Spanger, who's showing his wheels as he runs up the floor. Oh, and he makes the pass, and that one's knocked out. Goes off the stick of Nanos. Nanos really arguing that should have been their ball, but pretty clearly off of his stick. I think he's saying it might have touched Spanger on the way out, but Western maintains possession.
Oh, no, that was directly off of his stick and out of bounds. I don't think there's any argument there. It's hard enough changing the ref's mind if he makes a wrong call, but if he makes the right one, that's never going to happen.
Brendan McDougall with the ball for Western. Haven't seen a lot of him tonight, but he's out there now. Gets the ball over to Sam Neeb. Neeb going for a bit of a run. Watched by Ward. Western in no hurry on this possession to get the offense rolling. Now Neeb starts to drive to the net, spins back out.
3 goals lead is not a big enough one to just sit on here for the Mustangs, so they definitely have to keep this offense going, or they're going to let these Gales get right back into it, which they've already done once tonight.
Western still with possession. Here's Jesse Gamble driving down the slot, switching hands, gives it off. Western being very patient. Obviously, they don't mind the time ticking away while they have this 3-goal lead, but as you said, you want to keep your foot on the throttle. Tell you, pretty much the entire, I think it is the entire McGill-Redmond team who will play the winner of this game are down in the stands watching.
Knowing from the East, Coach Murdoch big into scouting, he's going to be he's watching this game hard. He probably was here earlier today watching the other 2 teams play, just because the possibility that could be someone they meet in the finals. McGill definitely wanting to be ready and keep this perfect season alive that they have going.
Yeah, Tim Murdoch puts a lot of work into that team. A perfect season scouting. He brings guys in from the States. He's just really built a good team. There's a nice cutout in the shot by Neeb, but it's a little bit wide. Western gets it back. Pat, you were going to say something.
Yeah, when you get to this level, you know, scouting, it's an absolute must. It's not one of those things where, you know, players, coaches can come right to the field and just ball. You know, it's one of those things where you have to put time and effort into looking at what other teams are running schemes defensively and offensively.
McDougall's still out there. He's got the ball, trying a couple of moves. Ward turning him aside, tries to get the pass out to Dylan Ham, but it's scooped up by Jordan Nanos.
They're saying now with those Redmond, though, in the last 3 seasons, they only have 2 losses so far with back-to-back undefeated seasons, losing out in the semifinals last year. And then the year before that, they were the national champions, just losing only 1 regular season game. So that McGill team knows how to win, and they don't really know the taste of losing too much. So they want to keep that rolling this weekend.
An absolute powerhouse they've built. Here comes the drive towards the net. The pass out skips away from Halliburton, but he picks it back up. Peter Hunt on him. Halliburton's going to give it up to Hutchison. Hutchison's going to let it fly and score. Hutchison had some space, not being covered closely, and he just let it fly from well out and drifts one into the net.
As you're saying there, Western just gave him enough time to get that shot off, and if you give good shooters opportunities, they're going to make you pay. And that's exactly what he did here, just a very hard shot getting to the back of the net.
Yeah, that was Ryan Nolan there, number 23 for the Mustangs. He's got to get up on hands. It is a far-out shot, but like you said, when you let a big-time shooter like that rip the ball, you got to get to hands. You can't let him have a free chance like that.
Face-off contested again. Bounces free, scooped up by Queens.
Definitely seen a good battle tonight featuring the East and West All-Canadians at the face-off position. Seeing what the best this league has to offer.
Hutchison with the ball, the recent goal scorer, brought the Queens Gales within 2. Here's a jump shot by Halliburton. That one's going to bounce wide. Joshua Smith there to claim the ball on the repossession. Robinson on him. Good job by Robinson keeping him to the outside. Smith tries to drive in low now. Spins, loses Robinson, shoots and scores.
Nice move by Smith there. His defenseman maybe looking for his jockstrap after that one as he was lying on the ground basically. And Smith, if he's going to be that open in front of the net, he's going to bury 99% of the time.
Yeah, just a beautiful question mark dodge from GLE. It's tough for a defender to stick with that. You don't really know where exactly you are, and he kind of just rolls back. He thinks he might be okay, and just right on the crease falls down. That's a tough play, but like you said, you get an elite player like Josh Smith in front of the cage, he's going to put it away.
You can see Robinson on Smith's hip here, and Smith just slips aside, and Robinson's own momentum carries him past. That ball tipped away by Spanger, but it goes out of bounds, so Brendan Zoner gets it. Zoner still with the ball. Spanger all over him. Gets back up to Halliburton. Just like that, you know, when we were thinking Western was really taking control of this game, once again, Queens has fought back. We'll see if they can come all the way back and tie it up.
And again, this one, they were down 5 originally, so second four-goal comeback from the Gales. One more will be enough to tie this back up, and lots of time left to play with over 13 minutes to go.
Janos gets it to Hutchison, goes back up to the top. Move it into Zoner. Comes all the way back up top. Hutchison gets it. Goes down to Zoner again. Alex Wright out to Ryan Donahoe. Donahoe's shot goes wide. That one's going to go well wide and way out of bounds.
Looked like they're one of the Western defenders able to get their stick on his to knock that ball loose.
Yeah, throwing him off.
Patty McCrory really bit on that fake there from Alex Wright. Got to break down, play hips.
Queens holding on to the ball. Donahoe back up to Halliburton. Halliburton watched by Hunt.
Good slide by Gamble there.
There's the hard shot by Hutchison. He's got another one. Queens has come all the way back to tie it up.
The Western Mustangs are learning quickly to not leave Hutchison open, because he just seems like his shot has just got eyes on it tonight going to the back of the net. Both coming out from pretty far distances there as he's able to rip this, and now we're all tied back up. 12-12. 5-goal lead gone from the Western Mustangs.
And again, Childerhoe's just given space to shoot. There's nobody on him. You can see the one player sliding out to try and cover him, but didn't have much of a chance to get there. And Western looks like we'll take a timeout and try and get themselves turned around here.
Hutchinson proving why he was an honorable mention this year as an All-Canadian, putting in those 2 goals there for the Gators right away. Sorry, the Gales right away.
Remember to tweet us who you think should be the 3 stars of the game. At JVI Video, hashtag 3 stars. Let us know what you think, and we will take them into consideration as we are selecting the stars about 8 or 9 minutes from now.
In a game like today, or tonight, a lot of options, so make sure to get those tweets in.
I like Hutchison. I like Jordan Nanos. I think he's done a good job for Western. I think Childerhoe's has been very good. Jesse Gamble's had a pretty big impact on this game.
Has not shown up as much on the score sheet, but clearing the ball and getting things moving can be a great help for his team. He's definitely doing that tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. I'd probably have to go with from Western, maybe Patty McCrory. He's been an absolute beast.
He was the other guy I was going to say, yeah.
And he's hit the back of the net as well. So.
For non-lacrosse fans, you can never understand how important a good face-off man is to your team. Some teams, the guy will just literally sit on the bench all game long except for face-offs, but he is loved by every person on the team if he can win draws.
No doubt. Fogos.
Hutchison with the ball once again. Go, Dylan. He's watched by Gamble. Reverses direction. Drive down the lane. Forced out wide. Halliburton with the ball. Halliburton moves it down to right. He's going to go behind the net.
Western really applying pressure from up top now. I think they've learned that these Queens midfielders can shoot the ball from up top.
Nifty little attempt by Ryan Wagner coming out from behind the net and trying the one-arm wrap shot, but that one goes a little bit wide. Queens gets the ball back.
You can see Western, though, you're saying trying to press from the top, knowing that their midfielders can shoot. Because you look at the stats all season long, it's been a 2-man game, but it's now a lead for the Queens Gales.
And again, no slide help. Chris Halliburton just beats his man one-on-one, gets the shot off, and what a comeback. The Queens Gales, just their second appearance ever in the Baggataway Cup, their first last year. They won a game last year, and they clearly want to do it again.
They want to see those McGill-Redmond team they see all the time, twice a year. McGill able to get 2 wins against them this year. Want to get some payback and make it to the Baggataway Cup. As you're going to see him just drive down hard. No slide coming, and just gets that shot off as he's able to get by his defender with speed. If Western continues not to slide here, they're going to have to keep up with these Queens players. If they're going to keep running right past them, they're going to get open shots like that, and they're going to make them pay.
And we talked about how important it was for the Queens Gales midfielders to step up, and they have done a great job of it, of adding some scoring for this Gales team. Western has the ball now. Childerhose down behind the net, passes it over to Ham. Ham taking some rough treatment, passes it off.
First time actually we've seen Western getting sort of a set offense in a little while now, as Queens has had possession for a long period of time in this fourth quarter.
We're going to move the ball back to Childerhose behind the net, watched by Nanos. He gets the pass out though. Spin move and a shot. Nice save by Porter. The shot from McCrory. There's a shot and a goal, switching hands and ripping that one home. Jesse Gamble.
Yeah, that is a goal scorer's goal. Beautiful dodge, switches hands, bounce shot. Goalie didn't have a chance, and that's why he was selected to be on the 2014 Team Canada to represent in Denver this year.
Gold medal winning team there in Denver as well, like best team in the world, able to maybe play as the way I saw a little rope-a-dope against the United States this year.
Yeah. 13-13 the score. Queens comes up with the ball. Possession off the face-off. Zipping down into the far end, Georgian Demopoulos. They move it to Smith behind the net.
8.5 minutes left to play here, all tied up, so this is going to come right down to the wire. As we said, all you have to do is make it to this tournament. You make it here, you got a shot at winning the cup.
Sumner takes the pass from Smith. They're going to go back up to Halliburton. Halliburton with a couple of goals for the Gales. He slips past his man, shoots. That one's knocked wide. The Gales are going to get it back.
Another late slide. At least there was a slide this time, but Western's got to recognize that these midfielders can dodge. They got to get a slide earlier, even if you're going a bit early, head slide, but they need to get contact.
Halliburton way up high. Watched by Patrick McCrory. Hutchison takes the ball. There's going to be a penalty right there.
Referee
Gales going back to the man up.
Referee saying a little bit too much love out there on the field coming from the Western defense. And this is a big opportunity for the Gales here, power play, maybe to retake this lead.
Craig Chartera sprints over to the penalty chair. Can the Gales make the complete comeback to take the lead, as you mentioned? Hutchison looks like he might want to shoot again for a second. They're going to keep moving the ball around the outside until they get it to Wright. Wright will bury it. Alex Wright, who had 16 goals in just 9 regular season games, has a couple here tonight for the Gales.
I see him getting team very happy there, knocking him over on the field after that goal. And Queens just never will disappear. As you can see now, they're taking a timeout on the field to preserve this power play. And their 14-13 lead. You're going to see the replay coming up here in just a second. You can see down there, Wright getting ready. Wright's shot gets past as the goaltender, Grace, tried to make a jump, but unable to get to that ball.
Yeah, that's a great shot there by the Newmarket, Ontario native, Alex Wright, captain on the team. He's really stepping up big time this year. I mean, he had 28 points on the year, which is very solid, but he's really stepping up, becoming a veteran presence, especially in the offensive end tonight.
Showing why he's one of the captains of this team, putting it on his back in this time. 7 minutes left to play. Anything can happen here.
Coming back out, getting ready for play to resume. Less than 7 minutes to go here.
Referees seem like they may be having a little talk with someone from the time bench there as when that timeout was going.
Can't stress how big this draw is here for both sides.
It's going to be Western coming up with it. Max Spanger with the ball.
As that was actually Queens not using their All-Canadian Rakosi on the draw there and bringing out Keaton Ward on that one, and Western taking advantage.
Gamble using some speed to get that one before it can get back to the defender at midfield. He spins off a check.
I don't think too many other guys on that field could actually catch that ball, but with him with his speed, that was no problem.
Looking at the Queens DEC down there, 19 one person I know that if anyone can run with him, it is him as Leonard, as he actually bikes home sometimes from Queens to Halifax, Nova Scotia, pedal bikes.
There's a shot from Ryan Miles. That is quite a trip home.
I remember playing box lacrosse with him, and our coach decided to do wall sits. Winner got a case of beer. I stood up right away because there was no way I was taking him out.
Western with the ball in back of the net. McCrory taking his time. That's Ryan McCrory with the ball. Watched by Jordan Nanos. Nanos having a very strong game defensively, and as we've seen, jumping up and helping out in the offense. Behind the back pass by McCrory, doesn't connect with Ham. Ham tries to scoop the ball up. Nanos racing after, but Jesse Gamble again using the wheels to get there.
Great effort.
That could have been really dangerous as Ham was open for a second there, but that pass off just enough so he wasn't able to corral it in.
Shot by Sam Neeb goes wide. Western immediately back in with the ball. They're ready to start it up. Pass up high. Skips it past McCrory, and the shot, what a rip. Western with the goal from Jesse Gamble.
Gamble putting his team on his back here, playing very strong in this game, tying this right back up, 14-all. See the Queens defenders and goaltender having a little chat down there on the field, trying to see what went wrong maybe there, as he was able to get a quick, wide open shot using his speed.
Just another split dodge by the former Cornell Big Red. Just a beautiful goal. He's really stepped up here later in the stages. He's just doing everything. He's just one of those five-tool players that you literally would die to have on your team.
Got to give some credit to Ryan Miles for that pass. It looked like he was going to go out to Patrick McCrory. Instead, fired it to Gamble cutting in, and here comes McCrory now. Western's tied it up, and they are putting the pressure on right away to try and get back into it.
Only 4 minutes left to play here, but unlike every other quarter, these last 3 minutes will be stop time, so a lot of time left to be played in this game.
And again, the clock will stop with 3 minutes to go, but we'll try and keep it running, give you the best on our score bug when we get back up there, give you the best estimate we can of how long is left in regulation time. If we do go to overtime, it will be 2 4-minute overtime periods that will be played in full. If it's still tied after that, then we go to 4-minute sudden death overtime periods.
Queens used to that as they had to do overtime for their divisional game against Carleton, just squeaking by last weekend to get here.
Neeb slips away from Hutchison on the check. Nanos picks him up. Neeb with the lob pass. Out to Miles. The dodge down the outside. It comes over to Ham. Ham is taken down. And Stefanelli took a look at the officials, or not Stefanelli, sorry, it's number 27, Burke White. looked at the officials wondering if the flag was coming, and it definitely was.
Big penalty. Burke White taking another penalty. He was the one that had the 3-minute illegal stick call as well at halftime.
You got to think there, Dillingham going to the rack there. He probably knew that he had some pressure going. If he kept going, there probably was going to be a penalty there.
Jordan Tripp passes the ball across the back to Childerhose. Childerhose back to Tripp. Comes out to Ham. Patience by the Western Mustangs as they look for an opportunity with the man up. That's a hard shot stopped by Porter. Ball bounces straight out to Childerhose, and the Mustangs retain possession. Big break for the Mustangs. Tough one for the Gales. There's a pass to the cutting Tripp. What a play! Tripp takes the pass, spins in midair, and fires the shot with 1 foot on the ground. Great play by Tripp to give the Western Mustangs the lead.
Almost perfect timing there for Tripp as that penalty was just released, and the Queens player was just sprinting back from half to try to catch up on the play, but no chance at that. And Western's gonna take the lead here very late in the game. You see that shot coming from the outside, put them up by a goal.
Again, another huge face-off here.
That's going to be battled, still popping out.
Looked like Queens had it, but great work by Spanger to keep it alive. The whistle blows.
Maybe trying to see a timeout call, maybe, but no one really had possession.
So should be interesting to see what the call is here.
As I could hear, I tried to hear somebody yelling from the bench. They didn't have the ball, so if the timeout call was called on that play, one team is going to be very unhappy with that.
It looked like they were pointing to the Western bench for the timeout call.
That's what I was looking at. It looked like that's what they were debating, and
it's going to be Queens ball. Big break for the Gales here.
Interesting that it was the official on the far side of the field,
Yep.
well away from the play that blew play down. Now there is going to be a timeout.
yeah, I don't think head coach Jeremy Talevi is going to be too thrilled with that one there, but nothing they can do. They got to get out their defensive set and make a big stop here.
2 times in 2 years, he's been unhappy with refereeing call late in this quarterfinal game. Last year, I thought he was going to blow his top when they took that 6-minute penalty. Very angry. Thought it should only been a 3-minute, but with an illegal stick and touching an illegal stick, that's the way the game goes. So Queens is going to get the ball back here after this timeout. That's going to be a huge opportunity. Under 3 minutes to play, only down by a goal. Very exciting opening day here we've seen at the 2014 Baggataway Cup.
A lot of scoring in both these games. 13-9 in the first one, now 15-14, 29 goals between these two teams.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think that the only good collegiate ball is down south, if you watch today, you would learn that there is some good ball up north at the collegiate level. There's no doubt about that one.
Queens takes possession. Wagner makes the pass across to Hutchison. Hutchison has been all over the field doing so much for Queens in this game.
As you were noting there, it's not just down south, it is up north. Many of these teams do travel down south for exhibition games and do play very well against some Division II, Division III teams, and even in the past have played a few Division I and done well. So this is a good place to come up and play lacrosse.
Halliburton spins off a check and takes the jump shot. That one goes wide, but Smith is back there.
The clock on the TV screen here is as close as we can get to the actual, as we keep saying, the game clock is on the bench side away from us.
There's Hutchison holding on to the ball. Queens trying to come up with yet another comeback. There's a shot, bounces straight into the stick of Zoner. Zoner watched by Spanger as he spins around. Do the Gales have another brilliant comeback in them? Hutchison has the ball. He's got a couple of big goals for the Gales. That one bounces away from Halliburton. He's in a foot race for it. Does a nice job of warding his man off. Great work to get between Charteris and the ball. Queens gets the ball back with a chance.
Lucky
Into the final
break
minute.
there. Western's defensive mid is doing a fantastic job in this last defensive stand, really keeping to the hands of the Queens midfielders.
Yeah, the Mustangs putting a lot of pressure. Queens bench all standing with their arms around each other, hoping that they can get this one back. The clock is on the field. We're into the final 30 seconds. Smith to Halliburton. Comes up to the top. Wright gives it off. Zoner's looking for something. They've got 15 seconds to make something happen. Wright scores! Ties it up. The Queens Gales once again. Improbable finish for these Gales as they come back to force what is looking like it's going to be overtime with, we think, 11 seconds to play.
These guys just do not quit. They're like cockroaches. You think you kill them, they just get right back up. This is unbelievable. What a pesky, pesky team this Gales team is.
You'll see Zoner down here on the replay. Once he gets, actually they didn't get to see it there, to get right open. They drew two defenders on him. They're going to see right here. Hard drive from him to get that pass across. With two sticks right in front of his face.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate for Matt Spanger. They're playing great defense, but just a beautiful play by Zoner.
Time runs out. We're going to go to overtime. And I'll tell you, we saw Queens do it last year, come back and beat this Western team. And if you told me before the game they were going to do it, I would have guessed, maybe a 9-8 score, something like that. 15 goals for each of these teams is really remarkable.
If you would have told me before the game 15 goals against this Western Mustangs defense and goaltending, never would have believed you.
Yeah, 30 goals between these two teams. That's just unbelievable. Both these teams known for, especially Western, known for a low-scoring, hard defense team. And not only that, but if you look at the score sheet right now, it's not normal Queens offense with just two players filling up the stat sheet. It's all over the place.
It is. It's just a reminder of how the time works. In the overtime, we will have 2 4-minute periods. They will be played in their entirety. And if the game is tied after that, then we go to 4-minute periods of sudden death. No, it'll be just running time for these 4-minute periods.
The Gales, like they were saying, they are familiar to this type of scenario, as they had to do it last week against the Carleton Ravens, coming out 7-6. So in that kind of notch, Queens does have the advantage, having the experience seeing this type of sudden death before.
15-15, it is going to overtime between the Queens Gales and the Western Mustangs. And we thought we weren't going to be able to top last year's thriller between these two, but this game certainly giving it a run for its money.
The Baggataway Cup just seems to get better and better every year.
There's no doubt about that. This league just growing year by year, depth every year, just getting better. The talent just keeps growing, and it's great to see. And these two games, especially tonight with the second one, just a fine product of Canadian University field lacrosse.
As we were saying, growing with this league. Reason why this tournament's actually pushed back to this weekend instead of normally 1 week earlier. 2 new teams added into the league this year. Ottawa University and Nipissing having very strong seasons out there. Even I know Ottawa player receiving an honorable mention for an All-Canadian on that side. Brandon Pera scoring a ton of goals for that Ottawa team this year.
And Nipissing, a very competitive program in their first year, having a lot of travel involved in their games, and pretty impressive start. Queens comes up with the first possession. Ryan Wagner gets the ball. Here comes Jordan Nanos up the field.
Nanos, big part offensively and defensively for these Gales today, doing a great job of transitioning the ball for them.
Wright, who scored the big tying goal, is going to pass it behind the net to Joshua Smith. Smith goes over to Hutchison. Wagner with the spin, gets it over to Zoner. He sees us cutting Smith. Smith catches it. No chance to get a shot off. The ball's down on the ground, but it's picked up by Zoner. Queens maintains possession.
Yeah, that's a beautiful check and lift by Jake Kranz there. He's having a really a good defensive game back there.
He is.
Gales seem to be sticking to what their game plan was the whole game. Just keeping their offense what they want. Not going to force anything.
There's a shot stopped by Zach Grace. Brendan Zoner right on him with some pressure. Grace managed to get the pass off. Good job.
Nice run by Grace to elude Zoner and get that easy pass off, and Western's going to easily transition this back into the offensive zone.
Kranz just runs it up himself. Now he'll head back to his own side of the field. Let the midfielder get back up into the offensive side of things. Jesse Gamble calling for the ball way up at the top. Or at least directing traffic. Go ahead, Pat.
Look to see him to initiate a dodge from up top. I think he's noticed a mismatch there with Chris Halliburton back there. I think he's really looking to initiate the offense from up top. He's itching to get the ball.
He's stretching out there, making sure he stays loose as Sam Neeb spins around. Childerhose will pass the ball back to Gamble, and he is off immediately, driving and shooting.
You don't see too many guys setting that far high up. Like when the ball's behind the net, he knew that he was going to take a run when he got the ball.
And good job by Queens there, recognizing that situation and sending that slide really early.
Halliburton flips the ball over. Alex Bulla makes the pass to Nanos. Here comes Nanos with the pass over. Great movement by the Gales. Alex Wright scores again.
That's going to be a one-goal lead here for the Gales. Remember, it is not over as these are periods do continuously go. It is not sudden death yet, but 16-15 here for the Gales. Alex Wright with the tying goal, and now the one to put them into the lead. As we're going to get to see here on the replay, some beautiful passing from these Gales. And you can see Zoner there. He had two options to pass to. The Western defender decided to slide down onto Joshua Smith, leaving Wright wide open.
Yeah, once again, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, what a job by Alex Wright late in the game. One of the captains, a real veteran for them, and just showing that presence.
Big time lead for the Gales here. Only one goal, and that's all they needed last weekend, scoring in the first overtime period against Carleton, and they were able to hold on the whole time.
There's the pass out front. Ball bounces away from Ham. It's scooped up by Childerhose, but knocked loose. Jordan Nanos gets the ball. Great play by him to get it over to the far side. Childerhose with some pressure. Queens with the clear though.
Oh, and a great hit by Ryan Nolan.
And it will be Western ball here.
That's probably the third big hit from Ryan Nolan, the Toronto, Ontario native. First, early in the first, he actually got called for a legal hit, but sometimes, and I heard Talevi on the sidelines, he said sometimes, you got to take that first penalty to get the things going.
Western with the ball. They're trying to drive down. Things getting a little bit desperate for the Mustangs. They have time, but they don't want to waste a lot of it. Gamble is going to try and get by his man Stefanelli. Passes it off.
Not much time left in this quarter, though. His clock is on the field.
There's the shot, bounces by. Childerhose gets it. Western's going to slow things down. As you said, the clock on the field, and that will be a timeout to Western.
Not much time left. It seemed probably left in that quarter there when they call it. Referee checking back. It seemed like with the clock there. You see one of the Western coaches coming right out to midfield, grabbing all the players that are on. Gonna probably set up a quick play. Not much time left.
Should be interesting to see what they chalk up to get a quick offensive play. My guess is, a good guess would be Gamble starting with the ball with that excellent foot speed of his. Try to draw a slide maybe to the middle and look for an empty dip and dunk on the crease.
That would be ideal for them here, getting a goal here and tying this up before heading into the second overtime period. Because at the start of it, it will be a face-off, and if Queens is able to get that ball, they could hold it for a long possession and really kill the clock.
Yeah, not a lot of time left in this first overtime period, as you mentioned, but Queens, and the question, of course, for Queens, if they are able to get possession, if they can kill off the rest of this quarter, if they can get possession, how much do you just try and milk the clock, and how much do you push for another goal? I mean, we saw what happened to Western when they took the foot off the gas, and you know, it's a little different when you're into a second overtime. There's just 4 minutes left, but you can't just completely back off.
I don't know, one goal is one of the hardest situations when you're up in field lacrosse, as if you don't want to actually go to the net sometimes and score that goal, because if you do, all of a sudden it's going to be a face-off. If they win it, they can go down and score, and then score again and tie this right.
We'll see if that went off. If that pass just went clear, if it touched somebody. Western immediately threw the pass, trying to hit someone on the crease. The ball went over to the far side. And I believe we now have a Queens timeout. Unless that is the end of the first overtime period. No real indication from the officials.
We've seen some long timeouts here today so far, so we can't be 100% sure.
Remember, tomorrow's semifinals will start at 12 o'clock, so join us at 5-2 for the introduction pre-game show, and we'll get underway at 12, and then game 2 at 3 o'clock.
Game 1 will see the #1 team out of the West, Brock Badgers, in a rematch of last year's semifinal at Guelph Griffins, who went on to win the national championship last year. 3 o'clock game features the #1 Eastern team, McGill Redmond, trying to keep their perfect season alive against the winner of this game here. McGill probably licking their lips thinking, oh, this game's going to overtime. A little extra running for both these guys. Later game in the night.
In that first game, I'm really looking forward to that one. 7 first-team All-Canadians in that game alone. That's not even including any of the honorable mentions. That includes Ryan Serville, who we saw, who had a monstrous day. And on Brock, there's quite a few as well. Brandon Slade and Gage Board, and also Parker Bale on the back end.
I believe, looking at that Kyle Davidson was left off the All-Canadian list, leading scorer for the Brock Badgers. So lots of power on that team.
Queens comes up with the face-off, a huge win. Being badgered, though, and a great job by Jesse Gamble to get the ball back for Western. We've talked about how he's done so much for this team in this game, all over the field. And another example there is he gets them possession. Again, the clock not running on the scoreboard in the stadium. We'll see if we can get our scoreboard up for our second overtime here. Childerhose with the ball, trying to get by Nanos. Nanos keeps him to the outside. They'll go right up top to Neeb.
I'd say watching Queens play, this is the game where they're really showing, if it's hard to tell on the field, their team motto, all in. If you've noticed on the back of some of their on their T-shirts, they're hanging below their jerseys. You can see it showing out. It's on Zoner, it's a little bit harder to see there, but they're really going all in as a team tonight.
Western still with the ball. Gamble's shot missed. An attempt by McCrory, and he's going to draw a foul. And you can hear one of the fans down below yelling, not in overtime, you don't make that call, but the referees have been pretty consistent about what they've been calling, and that will send Western to the man up with a chance to try and tie this game.
Yeah, this is huge. This is very big for this Mustangs team.
So far this tournament, haven't really seen any coaches really complaining about the referees' calls. They've done a great job so far in these first 2 games.
There's a shot and a goal by Western. Tying things up. They didn't need much of that man up.
I believe that was Childerhose on the goal there, tying this back up 16 apiece. He's having a big game so far tonight here for the Western Mustangs.
Yeah, and a beautiful pass from Jordan Tripp there. He's become kind of a little bit of a power play specialist for the Western Mustangs tonight. He's really stepping up on the extra man opportunity tonight.
Childerhose did a really good job there. As you saw, he sort of was jogging up towards coming back and then cut back to shake off his defender to give himself an opening in front of the net. So we're all tied up again here. Even though it's not next goal wins, it's pretty much down to that now in this game.
Western gets possession once again. Here's Jesse Gamble with the ball.
Pretty much all night, though, they've been sticking 19 Leonard there against him. Just probably Leonard's athletic ability able to run with him all night long.
Yeah, one of the few guys, as you mentioned, who can. Dylan Hutchison covering Sam Neeb.
Another good athlete, Sam Neeb from Oakville, Ontario. He's been doing a really good job running the ball to the X, trying to exploit that short stick, and it looks like we might see that situation again.
Pass a little too high there for the Western Mustang attackman, but they're able to scoop that right back up.
Looks like we have a timeout from Western.
Western sensing, they have the ball here, not much time left in this, maybe 1-2 shots to go, and they want to make sure that they can get theirs to count.
Yeah, this is a tough situation for an offensive coordinator to chalk up a play here. Now, do you want to kind of wait a little while to get that last second shot and then risk, just a little bit of a low risk situation head into the next one? Or do you want to get at it right away? But if you don't score, Queens has another opportunity to bring the ball up and get their scoring opportunity.
Western probably, if they're going to go for it quick, are going to have some guy waiting right behind the net and can make sure that they can regain that possession if they shoot that ball wide. Not going to take that one up to risk and let Queens just get it back.
It'll all play out shortly as we're into around the final minute or so of this second overtime period. Huge goal by Alex Wright for Queens to tie it up late in regulation. Then the goal to give them the lead in overtime. Now Childerhose with a goal to tie things back up for Western.
As you were saying earlier, we didn't think that these guys could have given us a better game than we saw last year. They're giving that game a run for its money here today.
It's looking like Dylan Ham's going to start with the ball for the Mustangs.
See the Mustangs players, a couple of them jumping around on the bench, and Queens all in solidarity, hand in hand.
Hutchison trying to keep Neeb out. Neeb will pass it across. Picked up by Jordy Jones-Smith. Haven't seen a lot of Jones-Smith playing up in the offensive zone. He's played more of a D-midi role, but he certainly has some talent to help him out, and that's why he's out here now. Neeb takes the ball. Hutchison up in tight defense on him. Help. Pass back to Gamble, who lets it rip, just missing, and he is upset with himself. But Western maintains possession of the ball, and Childerhose comes out immediately.
He had a lot of space. He probably could have taken a couple of steps, and I think that's why he's mad at himself that he missed that shot.
Comes back over to Neeb.
Sort of a very awkward pass that came across to him, catching that Queens defense off guard.
Neeb forces another one behind the back. Goal by Childerhose.
And now the Western Mustangs take 17-16 lead in overtime. Childerhose back-to-back goals for these Western team, and they're going to have a lead. There's not much time left. You can see that clock was getting itching to get back out onto this field.
Yeah, you can't get much more clutch than that. Scoring the game-tying goal and then giving a late lead in this second OT, and not only just the goal, but the way he scored that. BTB, beautiful goal.
It was gorgeous. We're going to see we are getting down towards the final ticks of this overtime, and it looks like the Western Mustangs may pull out a remarkable and exciting victory in this Baggataway Cup quarterfinal, but don't count the Queen's Gales out yet.
I think we've done that maybe 4 times now, and they've clawed back every single time.
And they get possession of the ball. Ryan Wagner gets it, and they're going to have a chance to try and tie things up.
Clock still not on the field just yet, so still over 30 seconds. We'll let you know the second that walks out on.
Smith with the ball behind the net. He's pushed out by Robinson. Pass across to Wright. Can he do it again? Not this time.
Clock is now on the field, so 30 seconds left to play here in overtime.
Zach Grace just rolls it into the crease to himself. Now he's going to pass it over to the far side to Robinson. Comes back to Grace. He's going to throw the long pass.
A little bit dangerous there. There were a couple Queens players around. He had an open man down in his own corner.
But Spanger had a great game, went and got it. Jesse Gamble now with the ball. And that will do it. The Western Mustangs pour onto the field. The Queens Gales in a bit of disbelief. It's a 17-16 final for the Mustangs. They will move on to the semifinals of the 2014 Baggataway Cup.
Huge overtime, especially in the last few minutes by Kyle Childerhood, tying it up and then potting the game winner when we thought Alex Wright was going to be the hero in that same scenario. But Western able to sort of relinquish some of their demons in these Queens Gales and move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, that's you can't have two. You can't even chalk up, a finish like this, and not only just for this team for Western, but for Childos, like you said. What a finish! Not only just scoring that game-winning goal, but the way he scored it behind the back. That takes a lot of guts in overtime to pull off a play such like that.
Great game for Childerhose, and he finishes it off with the game winner. Who'd have thunk the Queens Gales would be able to get 16 goals against